Well, hey there, and welcome back for another Secondhand Opinions video. I'm Jason Alderman, the internet's favorite fat mouth, fat ass, bringing you fat stacks of fucked facts. And it looks like today, the left have finally gone and lost their entire nut. Pretty sure they just proved to the world they were the ones who started all the fires in the woods in Oregon, California, and Washington. The reason I say that is because upon response to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing, they all decided to clamber over to Twitter and tell the world that if we actually do what we're supposed to do, which is replace her so we have a full Supreme Court justice bar, a whole panel, they're going to burn it all down, quote unquote. Yesterday I made an appeal for unity, and I made the open offer to the notion that if you leftists back away and join the America side of this issue, that there would be open arms for most patriots out there. Whether they're on either side of any fence doesn't matter. If you stop with the looting and the rioting and the burning and back away from your insane ideology, then most of us will forgive and forget over time. A lot of us aren't just going to be friendly, but if you stop threatening their lives, they'll stop treating you like a piece of shit who deserves to die. Now, we've seen a lot. This is a video for the lefties mostly, guys, so bear with me. We've seen about 120 of you catch federal charges over the last little bit of time. You guys don't like to admit it, but those of us who are looking at the paperwork passed back and forth between the government officials know it. Those of us who read the news know it. We listen to Chris Wray talk about how Antifa in his mind is an ideology or an idea more than a group or an organization. Well, we know that's a lie. We also know that Chris Wray is either on the dole or he's playing games. Most of us are pretty sure he's just on the dole. So, here's the deal, lefties. You've gone off the deep end so far that you're now threatening the federal government if they do their job. You don't think you're going to get arrested for that? You don't think you're going to see problems for that? You probably won't see arrests for the threats. First of all, it's on Twitter, and Jackie Boy's your best friend. And I know you all are feeling cocky because you got this Antifa lawyer fund bailing you guys out all over the world, and I do mean all over the world. But you guys don't feel like you're going to be prosecuted. You've been going to jail night after night, 2 and 3 times a day, and getting drummed back out on the streets to go commit arsons, murders, lootings, assaults. So they're putting a stop to that now, and they're arresting your happy asses. And if you didn't get the memo, just watch what happened in Portland last night. They've had enough of your shit. You guys went and lit the state on fire. Decided once the commotion from that died down, you realized there was going to be citizen pushback and you were going to get yourselves shot. You all went to your meeting places and you planned, let's go back to Portland, and most people said, you're high, and they went home, or wherever, their homeless camps, their little warehouse huts, or they went down there and they got swooped up with a quickness and an aggressive demeanor, and well, there's some people probably won't be out on the street tonight because those were feds. That means the Oregon DA can't just drop charges and release them to the public because the federal court wants to hear from them. So you go ahead and you take one of 3 options there, lefties. You do like I said yesterday, and you reintegrate into America. Not so tough. You just fuck off. Keep your crazy shit to yourself and act right. We don't care what you think. We just care how you behave. That's stepping backwards. In my experience, there's always one of 3 options available. If you break it down far enough, there's usually just 3 choices. Do you step back, stagnate, or move forward? So stepping back would be Antifa and the leftists reintegrating into America. I'm okay with this. I think most Americans would be okay with this. Stagnation is you do what you're doing, but you keep it to the places where the people will allow it. If you want to go riot on Ted Wheeler's property, you go harass Ted Wheeler. He seems to be all game for it. If you poop on Nancy Pelosi's porch, you might just get your pecker pulled by the police. They're going to let what happens happen wherever they let it happen. And that's the government angle. The citizenry, I think, are done with you. I know I am. If I catch you being a terrorist, there won't be discussions about whatever. I know that if I stop you, I'm going to jail. So I'm just going to stop you. You get me? They've made the simple question even more simple. Do you stand up to the terrorists and you put them down like the dogs that they are and pay the consequences? Or do you try to live and let live and only defend your space as much as little as possible as the government has told you to, up to the McCloskeys being arrested? And I guess some guy recently was in his house with a shotgun. He pointed at people who were outside of his home rioting, and they arrested him too. And I don't agree with him pointing it at people. Then again, I don't agree with there being a riot in his porch. So I wouldn't suggest you try that shit with me, because if getting arrested is the end result, whether I defend myself or not, or I let you tear down my house and burn me out of my house and home, hurt my family, well, it looks like I'm going to prison. And if I'm going to prison, guess who's not going to have a chance to come with me? So that's option 3. You escalate things. You keep going forward with this. You keep harassing the police precincts. You keep harassing the ICE buildings. You keep harassing the federal buildings. Worse yet, you keep harassing the populace. So all of you leftists, Antifa out there who are looking to move this forward, all of you terrorists, likely from around the world, out of the country, etc., all of you George Soros, Clinton Foundation supplantees from the Kurdish frickin' fighter groups over there pretending that you're fighting ISIS to be freedom fighters and all this bullshit. I don't care. America's over it. You can either fuck off, go home, go somewhere else, but this is stopping now. The feds are starting to come down on you like a ton of bricks, and they will. And if you don't cool your jets and fuck off and reintegrate into society, the populace is going to get rid of the problem. There's a study you do in high school chem or college chem where you introduce free radicals into a stabilized state. And one of two things happens. The free radical takes over the stabilized state. Or the stabilized state eliminates the free radical. Do you want to keep pushing forward with this science experiment? Because we know how it ends. We're done. You're done. Ruth Bader Ginsburg will be replaced. We're moving forward with this government. And your whiny-ass crybaby feels and bitch-ass whining and moaning has nothing to do with it, because we're grown-ups here. And you've had your temper tantrum long enough. So now the nation and likely the world will be treating you like the temper tantrum-throwing little petulant children that you are. Yes, we're in the store. Yes, you're in the middle of the aisle. No, you still can't have the fucking candy bar. Shut up before you get a spanking. You get me? Let's all pretend like our opinions matter and leave them in the comments below. And remember, this is social media, so do all the things.